What's up? Welcome back to another scary edition of Sinister's Horror Stash. I am your host, Sinister Alec Miller, and I'm joined as always by my man Hunter Chambliss, and we have a special guest, the first guest of Sinister's Horror Stash, Calamity John Maher. Welcome to that. Welcome to the show, man. You find him everywhere at Why We Love Horror Trivia. He's all over my TikTok, and I'm scrolling TikTok, so. Check him out. But how you doing, John?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime I can talk horror movies, especially, the movie we're going to cover, I'm excited to cover this movie.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. This is definitely be an interesting choice. Hunter, how you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. Yeah, this is a movie that I absolutely hated. So
yeah,
let's find out why.
This might be like our first consensus like bad movie because like me and Hunter in the episodes that we had so far, like we're kind of usually on the same wavelength. Like either liking a movie. I know for those who watched the Urban Legend one, I wasn't the biggest fan of Urban Legend, but I was able to have some fun with it. So this is one that is a bad movie, but did not really have that much fun with.
Yeah.
We'll get into like initial thoughts, and let's go ahead and mention the movie that we're talking about today, which is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Just a little background. I remember when this movie was first announced, and everyone was kind of like freaking out and going crazy, or not announced, but like when they really dropped it, really basically, and you start seeing all the pictures and everything. I was like, I'm interested. I want to see where this goes. I want to see the characters that I grew up with murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but yeah, this movie did not turn out to be what I was hoping it would be. I think we were all kind of expecting something fun, something to have a good splattered fun, and it just didn't go that way. So let's go ahead and get into first thoughts. John, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the movie?
Well, I mean, you guys both know I have a show on my channel that covers this production studio and
that's why you're here.
And the network of production studios. This is an ITN Jagged Edge production. They have not made a good movie ever. So like that was working against them the entire time. Plus the fact that like Alec is 100% right. Like this movie should have been like campy and funny. They play this movie 1,000% straight. Mm-hmm. It's like so straight. Like Winnie the Pooh is Michael Myers, and like you're gonna take him seriously, and you can't take it seriously at all. It's berserk how bad it is, with the exception of the first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes are fire.
That's true. I agree with that. Hunter, what were your thoughts on the movie?
So, going into the movie, I was not on the hate train like a lot of people were. I was like, okay, take the Winnie the Pooh characters and do a horror movie out of them, because you can go so many different directions. Actually, I'm pretty excited about what they're doing with the TCU, the Twisted Childhood universe, just because they now seem to be like gripping onto the comedy of it all. I mean, hell, that Poohniverse poster really shows that they're not taking this seriously. So I can kind of get on board with that. But yeah, as you both said, this movie takes itself so seriously that you can't have fun with it. Yeah. And that's what makes a bad horror movie, is that like even if it's bad and over the top and campy, I love movies that I can find some sort of enjoyment or comedy out of. This is not it. They try to take it so seriously that it backfires, and when you see the suits and you see the mask and you see how bad they are shot, like there is really nothing interesting about this movie. It's another slasher just with the Winnie the Pooh title.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing unique about it besides the fact that it's Winnie the Pooh, and they kind of latch onto that without actually taking the things that you love about Winnie the Pooh, that you love about Piglet, and they kind of do this half-ass explanation in the beginning with the animated portion of the movie, and basically they say that they don't speak. They took a vow of silence. That's why they don't talk. So that's why you just have these emotionless masks that are not supposed to be masks. I think it'd be different if these are supposed to be masks. They're not.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be.
Supposed to look at it and be like, oh, that's a beast, that's a man bear, and like there's no fear from that. There's no emotion given to that. I agree with John though. The best part is the first 5 minutes of the movie, with the one character that I actually was interested in, which was Christopher. I was like the one actor trying to do something, and at least worked for me. I kind of wish that would have been more of the movie. Was Christopher Robin. Instead, we get focus on this group of girls. Typical slasher movie. Let's put five, however many it is, 5 young girls in the forest, and have a bunch of crazy stuff happen to them. The kills, like with a better budget, I think probably would have been better. Like there are some cool things that they're trying, but just don't have the budget for, like that tire scene with the girl. It's just not executed well. But I mean, when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, but it does at some point look pretty bad and up, and like the best it looks is when you see the aftermath, when the other girls discover it. Any highlights for y'all guys on this movie? Anything?
You kind of touched on it, like just that they're dudes in masks. There's actually a line in the movie where one of the characters goes, "That thing did not look human." I'm like, yeah, it does. It looks like
it did.
Looks like a dude in a mask.
Yeah,
looks like every human I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
There is one part that I actually found kind of interesting, but it's them stealing from another movie, and it's the scene where Piglet is chasing the girl in the pool with the hammer. That's literally a shot for shot from Strangers Prey at Night, except it doesn't have any color and any of the cool background music. I thought it was a kind of a cool chase scene in the pool, and then I think the hammer slam to the head was actually really well done. But then after that, like I can't think of any other memorable moments in this movie.
Yeah, it also suffers from like that whole jagged edge kind of like poor writing thing, because there's the scene at the end, like when they do the whole Halloween kills, like when the 4 guys are just trying to kill Winnie the Pooh, and then all of a sudden Winnie the Pooh has like domain over bees.
Yeah,
and, he has the bees attacking like he's Candyman. I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. Or the ending where they like give Pooh like the first lines of the movie, and it's not "oh bother," it's "you left."
Yeah.
Oh
bother! I'd have popped huge.
You would have you had one job. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, this and then there's even the scene. It's when Christopher Robin comes and he's trying to save the main girl, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. And like the music gets very like triumphant for no reason. And then he just like kills her, and it's just like it's kind of it's really out of nowhere, and just it stuck out because like I was watching it and I'm like, I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, I'm ready for this to be over, and then that like triumphant music happens, and I'm like, is something about to like happen? Like, are they about to kill Winnie the Pooh? And then no, he just gets up and he kills her, and you're just like, that's it, that's the end of the movie. And you're like, okay, and
it's another jagged edge trope. I'm gonna keep saying jagged edge tropes. Is like they did not end the movie. They knew going in they were gonna make 10. So at the end of the movie, we're gonna end it like they ended like Back to the Future. Like, nope, there's more coming. See you next time. It's like, you son of a bitch. How dare you do?
And they know they got our money. Which I mean, I've heard great things about, or good things about. I don't want to say great, but I've heard good things about the sequel, which is a little refreshing because knowing that we have a bunch more of these movies coming out. Because
and that Pooh actually looks deformed in the second one, like an actual like prosthetic instead of just a regular like mask.
Yeah, they put money into the outfits.
Yeah, because I know Owl looks crazy. Like Owl looks so, and that's what I wanted from this movie. I think I wanted from this movie, and then after they announced the sequel and the whole universe.
Bambi the Reckoning looks fucking awful, but also awesome at the same time.
I feel like we're gonna get like a sci-fi channel type like creature feature with that. As long as they put a lot of money into the look of because I mean I like those sci-fi like movie. They're fun little things to watch on on a Friday night. But if you put a little money into it and acting, because I know for sure one thing I dislike about this movie is the cast. The cast is, and that's a jagged edge, maybe not a trope, but just what they do. They just don't put a good cast together.
They have 20 actors and they pick 12 of them for each movie.
Yeah. And this one, all the girls are basically, I don't remember any of the girls' names in this movie. They're all pretty generic. They're all there for one thing, for one reason. And like the only one that really stuck out, I think, was Christopher Robin. Now, I will say what I did like about this movie is at least the lore of what they are and all this stuff. Like, you still don't know what they are. They're just these animals that Christopher Robin found. And then of just gross, like the level of just how just sick and gross and twisted they are. Like that whole like blood shower thing. That's crazy. That was like showering him with the blood of his girlfriend was crazy. And it's just like, these are cool things. It's just everything else around it.
Yeah, I think if they had taken that animated beginning to give you the backstory, and then just turned the whole Christopher Robin going back to the 100-Acre Wood as like the strangers with him and his girlfriend, but just as Winnie the Pooh and Piglet as like the strangers characters.
Yeah,
you have a movie there. But they just kind of wrap that up in like 15 minutes, and then it becomes, Slumber Party Massacre 4.
Yeah, it really does. And I don't. This probably isn't going to be a really long episode because we don't really have much to say great about this movie.
We can't really like talk about this movie that much just because like it's your generic slasher. I will say though, the only credit I can give to them is that they actually tried to tie in Pooh lore in the real life, because they actually filmed this in the actual 100-Acre Woods. Like the actual filming of this was in the 100-Acre Woods, so they have that kind of real life perspective.
Yeah,
I just wish they would have gone as crazy as they did in something like The Mean One. The Mean One, I think, it's a bad movie, but it knows it's a bad movie, and the effects of the Mean One are actually pretty good. I think David Howard Thornton has a very fun job. He does a very fun job in that movie, but it knows what it is. It doesn't take itself seriously.
The Mean One does a lot of things right, though. The Mean One, they did the new thing where like your lead girl is a stunt woman. Like you teach stunt women how to act. Don't teach actresses how to do stunts. That's my motto.
Yeah.
Because then you have that. You have the girl from Terrifier 2. They're all killing it.
Lauren Lavera.
Oh yeah, Lauren Lavera. All the side characters in The Mean One are great. Like the girl, the main character, the old dude, they're great. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey doesn't have any characters. Like they're all just like they're all like that girl, oh, the girl that's a prisoner, and Christopher Robin.
Yeah, and like go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
It seems like they're learning from their mistakes, though, if they're trying to do this universe where like the second one had a bigger budget, so they focused on getting the effects and the prosthetics and stuff looking up to par. Which I'll be honest, seeing the trailer for Bambi the Reckoning gets me kind of excited because Bambi actually looks not that bad. Like his CG is not terrible. But I'm interested in this kind of universe they're doing only because if they go over the top, if they go, taking these childhood favorites and giving them a horror twist, it could be a fun little universe that could, kind of give us entertaining movies.
Yeah, I think where Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1, well, they'll probably learn from their mistakes, and we saw it, is instead of putting the money into the effect, the effects that they put money into in the first one, it was on the kills and trying to make it like have, CGI, like heads getting squashed and stuff like that.
Yeah. Take
that money that you're going to put into that, make that practical, and then get some better costumes, some better effects on the animals. Because like I said, they look way better in the trailer for Blood and Honey 2. And then I haven't seen the trailer for Bambi the Reckoning, but I will definitely check that out. But hearing that, makes me feel.
They released like a teaser clip of like one of the deaths, and then if you went to go see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey in theaters, they gave you like a piece of the movie.
Oh, okay.
they just released that piece on YouTube. I think a month ago or something. So that should be out there now.
Yeah, and then after them announcing all of the movies they're making, like once they realized the success that they had with Blood Honey, they had that they were able to put out the full announcement for the Twisted Childhood universe. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Which like I'm excited for, but they really it really was gonna like kind of be all dependent on how that second movie turned out. So hearing that it went good and they're able to announce all these things definitely makes me feel a lot better about the series, because I am excited about it. I'm all about like trying to be creative and figure new ways to like move this horror genre forward, because like how long was it? Mostly like the 2000s, like horror slashers were getting so repetitive and boring. Mm-hmm. And like now we are kind of this horror renaissance where it just more chances,
experimental.
Yeah.
And the mainstream is starting to enjoy it, I think. Like even me and my girlfriend, my fiance, we used to always go to like Marvel movies in the theaters. Now we exclusively go to the theater for horror movies. Like we saw almost what we saw Evil Dead Rise last year, Talk to Me last year, like all those mainstream horror movies that did well and then had that good word of mouth. We went and saw. So I hope that these movies are able to get that, because I want to be on the streets and just hear someone randomly talking about Blood and Honey or Bambi Reckoning and the Peter Pan one, which I think might be
that one. I'm most excited for that one. Neverland Nightmare.
Peter Pan's already creepy.
Pinocchio on Strong. There's a whole bunch coming out. Yeah, they're not going to back down. What I will say is this: the one positive thing I will say is this: if you look at the timeline of Jagged Edge, right, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies in between this and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. They are slightly better.
They're making improvements.
Yeah. To be fair, John, I don't think you could go lower than The Legend of Jack and Jill.
Oh, you can, believe me. But yeah.
I mean, I know. I think ours wasn't the one that I watched with you was not Jagged Edge, but you said it was like a cousin, and that one was bad.
Which one did we watch? I forget which one.
Crocodile Swarm.
Crocodile Swarm is, I believe, that Dark Abyss production. Yeah, so like it's the same actors, and it's just a half step to the left.
Yeah,
half step to the left.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's bring down
into the plot of the movie.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll start, like we said, we had that opening animated portion, basically saying that, and they don't even explain where they come from. It's just, they call them mutants, and they call like all the Pooh and Piglet and Tigger and all that. They call them mutants, and Christopher Robin as a kid finds them. Kind of like, that's kind of a funny way to put it. Like, yeah, like we would look at it as like mutants, but this kid's just like having a grand old time, having fun playing with these monsters in the forest, thinking that they're normal. And then he grows up, he leaves, and then also they say that he was feeding them, basically he was taking care of them, so they were completely dependent on him. And then he goes to college. So when he goes to college, they're not able to take care of themselves. They eat Eeyore.
Yeah.
Logical choice.
Yeah, so they eat him.
By the way, love that you see Eeyore's tail at the 100 Acre Wood. It's like strung up on the
R.I.P. And this is R.I.P. with the
the little tail hanging down. Come on, that's darkly funny.
That's funny.
But the whole movie should have been that way. Yeah,
and
exactly.
They like even said that the reason they go crazy is because they had to eat Eeyore. So it shows that they didn't eat Eeyore out of like psychotic. They're like a psychotic break. They had to eat. In order to survive. That caused them to go mad, and just to make sure that, hey, like these masks don't work, these masks don't move. I
kind of wish the whole movie was this premise, kind of going into like what the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie was, which is like, okay, these animals these mutants that we would see as mutants, Chris Robin as a kid sees them as, Winnie the Pooh and friends, but then, take that and like turn it on its head. You have them eating Eeyore because they have to feed their animals, and they go crazy. So that's an interesting idea, interesting story. But then we get to the slasher element of it, and it doesn't work. If they were treated more like animals that were given a interesting backstory, and then just have them chase down Christopher Robin for coming back, you would have a very streamlined movie.
Yeah, so like then it shows 5 years later after Christopher Robin leaves. 5 years later, he returns as an adult. He graduated from college. He's bringing his fiance. I think it's his fiance at the time to 100 Acre Wood because they're gonna get married, obviously. So he's like, you know what? It's about time that you meet Pooh and all of them. And so it sounds like he's talked to people about them. This isn't the first time he's ever like talked about them, but no one ever believes him. And she's actually like really sweet, really nice. Like she's like, okay, like I'm gonna go along with what you're saying. Like I do think that you believe that they're real. And there's even a point where you're like, dude, just trust her, go with her. Like because she's trying to get him to leave. Like let's get out of here. And he looks like he's starting to kind of soften and think like, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe it was my imagination. But then you hear in the distance, it might have been Piglet. But then he yells Piglet, and he sounds like he's in pain or something. So he's running, and they find. I didn't know that they built the 100 Acre Wood. They completely built this like campsite. They have their own trailers. Piglet and Pooh both have their own trailers. And they go into one of the trailers. They find. I did like the little touch of the giant honey pots, like because that felt very of the old animated movie and the animated show and all that. So I did enjoy that, but they go into one of the I think it's Piglet's room. They go into Piglet's thing and find a picture, and it looks. I couldn't really tell what it was. It just looked like it was like drawn out, like scribbled out or whatever. The fiance says, "Is this you?" And Christopher Robin's freaking out, not asking why they did that. And then you hear Piglet start to like make some noise and come in. And this is actually why we said this is the best part of the movie. This actually had like some tension filled. Even though it doesn't like fit with what we know, Piglet is pretty menacing. They're both pretty menacing. They're huge. They're gigantic.
Piglet's like a warthog.
Yeah,
Piglet is Bebop from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, he did. So he sits on the bed, and the fiance is like right next to the bed, and Christopher Robin's underneath the bed. I did like the cut of like edges. They sit there. Piglet lays down, and then it just like kind of cuts, and it's dark. And so it's like they've been staying there for a while, for maybe like a couple hours. Piglet's still sleeping. They try to escape, and let me see. Yeah. Where am I at? This one Pooh pops up. This is how forgettable this movie is. Pooh pops up. The whole thing happens. They kill his wife. They break her neck. His fiance. They break Chris Robin's fiance's neck, and then they just are slowly walking towards Christopher Robin, and then it cuts. And then we meet our.
So it says that Piglet strangles Mary to death.
He strangles her, and then
they drag Pooh into the woods.
Then there was a little bit more. Then we get the intro credits where it's like all these, and this is the part that I like too. Is like I wish they would have dug into it. It seems like there's these newspaper clippings of what's going on. So it sounds like there's lore and story, but then that's never touched on again.
John, why does this keep happening in Jagged Edge's movies? We always get newspapers of people missing, and they never come back and talk about them.
Yeah, and it's always like the funny thing about the newspaper clippings is they're always out in the open, like they're out in the face of the elements. But it's like they were just placed there. But they're newspaper articles that go back decades. It's like that would just be like a mass of just wet paper that's disintegrating.
Yeah,
you keep doing your Jagged Edge.
All the pictures, like nothing's hidden. Like they have very clear shots of Pooh and Piglet, and no one's thought like we should go into the forest and find out what these things are.
Welcome to Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
There's very clearly something wrong here, but we're not going to escalate it to a level where we'd send in police or the National Guard or something.
No, not at all.
Because like if we had clear pictures like this of like Bigfoot or any other kind of creature in this country, everyone would be there trying to find what's going on. But these are very clear pictures of this bear wearing clothes, wearing work clothes, by the way. So apparently they have jobs also.
Yeah,
they're wearing work overalls.
That makes sense.
We want accurate Winnie the Pooh with no pants. No pants.
Yeah, what are we doing? Where's the accuracy, guys?
Dom just hanging out.
So then we're introduced to our group of university students, and I have the list of the names here. We won't remember any of them after I say them the first time.
Nope.
We have Maria, Jessica, Alice, Zoe, Laura, and Tina.
There's 6 of them.
There's a lot.
There's the one girl that like kind of doesn't even make it.
Yeah, she doesn't make it. She was killed in the garage, which we're basically at right now. Like yeah,
dude, this is where the movie goes like a steep downhill turn.
Yeah, so Tina is looking for the place. She can't find it. So she gets to this garage, this like abandoned lot or whatever, and Pooh finds her, takes her, bashes her head in. I believe bashes her head in, which I'm like, she's still not dead.
I think he rips her top off and like shoves her in like a wood chipper. Or something.
Yeah, and then she goes into the wood chipper, and that's it for her. This is like where you have those little character moments of Pooh, and then nothing happens. So you just have Pooh's reminiscing over Christopher Robin because we see him there, and he starts whipping him.
With Eeyore's tail, by the way.
Eeyore's tail, and then he showers him with Mary's blood. Which is like that's that grotesqueness. I was like, I'm kind of into this. I like this. The practical effects of the skeletons, even though like I think they look like pretty cool. And all it's like they give you a hint of cool stuff, and then just like, hey, remember this is Jagged Edge. Don't forget. So then night falls, and one of the girls, what's her name, Laura. Yeah, Laura is the one that's in the hot tub, posing, doing her Instagram stuff, and she's playing music really loudly. Piglet hears it, sneaks over there.
They sneak up on her forever.
Yeah, it takes forever. First of all,
forever.
She takes a picture, takes a selfie of herself, looks at it, sees Piglet in the background,
and she doesn't run.
Fuck, and she's like, "I'm not ruining my night." No, they're gonna ruin your night because you could have.
Because you will be dead.
And so he grabs her. They take her into to the driveway. Which she's like, I'm saying these Pooh and Piglet, they're just trying to kill everybody in the worst possible ways. Literally going out of their way, dragging them all the way to the driveway, and they run over her head with a. Also, they lined her up with the sledgehammer. I'm like, okay, the car is there, the sledgehammer's there. Which one are you going to use? And then Pooh drives over her head, squishes it. You have a really bad visual effect of an eyeball popping out.
Is it ever told why Pooh and Piglet are attacking these random?
I think they're just territorial of the 100 Acre Wood.
It's Jason Voorhees syndrome.
Yeah.
Basically, and I do like the fact that they did gloss over the fact, like, how did Pooh get his license? We don't know.
Yeah.
He's very comfortable behind the wheel of the car. He shouldn't be comfortable behind the wheels of a car, but he is.
Didn't even know he's ever seen a car.
That's the Michael Myers syndrome right there.
Yeah, a lot in a sanitarium for 20 plus years.
Gets rid of the car.
Knows how to drive.
Yeah. So they kill her. The other girls come out. They find her basically head all smashed up in the driveway. They're like, and they're still kind of like, what the hell's going on? And then they go inside, and Pooh and Piglet took the time to take the blood and write "Get Out" on
Get Out. Yeah. A movie I would much rather be watching at this point.
All the girls were in that same house. If they would have just went to the different rooms, they could have taken care of this. It's just like, no, we're gonna write a message and let them know that we don't want them there. And the girls the girls start running. They get into Pooh's. Oh, so they follow Pooh. Yeah, right. They follow Pooh. Oh, they kill Zoe. Sorry, the pool scene.
The pool scene is my favorite scene in the movie. So
kills her in the first. He goes after her with a chain, and then he goes in with the sledgehammer. Which, by the way, the amount of time that it took Piglet to get inside the pool and to get her, she could have already jumped out of the other side of the pool.
Oh, 100%.
Out. Like the
Jagged Edge has to do the scenes where people just stand still and scream.
Yeah. And the pool is not big. The pool's it's not small.
It's an indoor, like half width pool.
Yeah.
And so she just stands there long enough to get hit with a sledgehammer. And that was Zoe. And then Maria and Jessica come in. They find Alice being abducted, so they follow her. Pooh took her to the treehouse. They follow her there. They find her. They break her out. They take Christopher Robin out, and another random girl that was just they found named Charlene. She's all messed up. She's been beaten up. Decides to take like a solid like minute and a half to freak out about her face being all broken up.
As you do.
Yeah, and they escape. They're actually she could have escaped, Charlene, but because she was mad at Piglet about her face, she decided to get tough, and it didn't go well.
It did not.
Piglet comes in, kills her almost immediately. Pooh's chasing Maria and Jessica, but Alice stays behind. And she actually gets one up on Piglet. She starts. I remember how she had him tied up, and she's beating the shit out of him with the sledgehammer. And then she's taking her sweet time to do this. I would have knocked him out and took off running.
Ran.
But she's standing there looking at her work. Pooh comes up behind her, grabs her, stabs her in the mouth with the machete, which gnarly, but it's very Michael Myers from Halloween, but this time to the mouth.
Yep.
Which is it's pretty cool. And then he chases after Maria and Jessica and by the way, Christopher Robin just like disappeared at this time.
Yeah.
Maria and Jessica.
He's not in this movie long.
No. And then Maria and Jessica find this group of guys hunting or whatever. They must live in the woods or something. And they're telling them like, let's get the hell out of here. And instead they want to be tough, try to fight Pooh. It did like I didn't even point that out. I mean, get that the Halloween Kills reference, which I hate that movie so much.
Wait, Kills or Ends?
I hate both of them so much.
It's definitely Halloween Kills because like they have the scene where they've surrounded Pooh.
Yeah,
they all have.
It looks like he's beat up.
They are going ham on him.
Evil dies tonight.
He hulks up just like Michael Myers does in Halloween Kills. Hulks up and kills everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind Halloween Ends, by the way. I'm one of the few people that actually like that movie.
I don't mind it either.
I feel like me and you have had this conversation, Hunter.
We probably have. We definitely have to do a review on that trilogy one day.
I need to go back and watch Ends. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty uninterested from the beginning, so I might not have given it a fair chance, but I will give it a fair chance.
Yeah.
So Pooh takes out all these guys pretty quickly. Maria tries to run over Pooh with the pickup truck. She crashes, passes out. And when she wakes up, she sees Pooh dragging Jessica out of the truck. And this part was weird because like he's holding her in the full shot. Then the camera the shot changes and it's her looking out of the driveway, and you can't see his hand. Then he just pulls up her head. So you're like, did he just rip her head off her body? That's where the money for the effects clearly ran out. And they were like, we just got to make a hard cut here. So yeah, he's holding her head. He throws the head on the car, and then Christopher Robin comes in. He tries to he crashes into Pooh with the truck. Pooh's able to get himself out. He grabs Marianne and he holds her at knife point. And then Christopher Robin, he's telling Pooh, like, I saw that you had that moment where you were thinking of, like you remembered how it used to be. Like, it can go back to that. And then that's when you have the one line, which, what was it, Hunter? Your favorite line.
Left.
Yeah, your favorite line. And then
you have one job. Just one.
and then he slashes Maria's throat. And this is where like that moment where it was like triumphant music, and then he just kills Maria, and you're like, and I was even thinking like, oh, is she gonna be a holdover into the sequel? No, just start fresh. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Robin is able to flee the woods as Pooh is repeatedly stabbing Maria's corpse. So I guess Christopher Robin's gonna be. Is Christopher Robin gonna be the Iron Man of the CTU?
Yes, he is.
I guess so.
Cool. But that is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's bad. Don't watch.
It's really bad. So let's go to the Rotten Tomatoes here to see what this one is.
I might go lower. It might need to be lower than the Rotten Tomatoes.
It's like a 3 or a 4, isn't it?
Got on the tomato meter, it is a 3%. Surprisingly, the audience score is 50%. So it's still rotten.
People are just trolling. They're just trolling Rotten Tomatoes. They're just trolling.
It has to be.
That's fair.
The 3% is definitely earned. I would agree with the 3%.
So
I would stress this movie is not even a movie that like, there's some movies that are so bad that you can enjoy them, like Troll 2. Like I'll watch Troll 2 because that's a bop. But like this movie isn't even bad that it horseshoes back around to being good. It's just bad.
It's no fun. There's zero fun in this movie.
All right, Alec.
What's up?
I want us to go back to the thing we did with before, where it's like the overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated.
Okay.
What would you guys say about this one? The Rotten Tomatoes meter compared to the movie. Underrated, overrated, or perfectly rated?
That's accurately rated. It might be overrated, but it's accurately rated.
Yeah, accurately rated for sure. I kind of want to go overrated because it should be. No one should have put a good review.
I mean, I'm going to say it's accurately rated only because I can't say enough. I enjoy the animated 4-minute opening. It's very well done. So you get 3% for that. Good job.
So yeah, I'll go perfectly rated too.
I agree. Also perfectly rated. Yeah, this movie's bad, and I'm someone who usually can give bad movies a break, but at least let me have fun with your movie. Like Terrifier 1, I did not like, but at least I had fun with it. This I did not.
Yeah, to me, being fun is that's the bare minimum. Like that's the bare minimum that a movie can do. If you're not gonna be good, at least let me have a good time. At least let me walk out and be like, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Like I hope I never see this again. If I hear of somebody talking about possibly seeing this movie, I will do my best to warn them not to, because you could probably get like the same like the gist of the movie and the feel of the movie, and be more entertained watching like Found Flix's episode of Winnie the Pooh,
or the kill count.
Yeah, the kill count. Like watch those. Don't watch this movie. But go watch 2 because I hear it's good, and I'm gonna watch 2 also. Which is weird.
John.
Like, I won't support this movie, but I want to support the sequel.
All right, John. Final thoughts on this movie before we head out.
In the Jagged Edge pantheon, it's okay. Versus every other movie, it's abysmal. Like it's absolute garbage. But if you enjoy hurting yourself, if you don't like yourself, you should watch this movie because I think that fits in perfectly with your personality.
What about you, honey? You want to give some final thoughts?
Yeah, this movie is awful. But I will say, don't watch this one. As Alex said, watch the sequel. Apparently, they had a bigger budget, and apparently, it's way more fun. But I will say, I'm not going to judge this movie on every other movie in the TCU because I want to do them, see them as their own movies. And if 2 is better, if Bambi the Reckoning is good, if all of these movies are at least fun, then I'll have a fun time with them. But if they're like this, then yeah, this universe is not going to go the way they want it, and it may go down alongside the Dark Universe.
Yeah, and if there's one takeaway, I gotta say it is the first scene with Christopher Robin. That is, I kind of wish y'all would have said like more of a stranger's feel, have it be centered around Christopher Robin, especially if you're gonna have him kind of carry this franchise and carry this universe, which I'm not opposed to. I liked the character. I think I like the actor too. I think he's fine. So if we could have got more of that, that'd have been cool. But it is.
They actually recast Christopher Robin in the second one.
Yeah,
they recast him, which fine. It is what it is. But
they should do like a reverse Strangers, where the guy doesn't die, the girl dies, but he gets away.
Yeah,
enough, and you could do leave the door open for a sequel without blatantly just it ending like the way it ended. It's just the balls on these guys to do that ending is crazy.
Yeah. So Christopher Robin in the second one is played by Scott Chambers, who is the writer for the. He wasn't he the writer for this one? He's
the top level guy within that Jagged Edge universe. He directs, writes, produces. He's but he's acting now too. So he's
By the way,
his name attached to a bunch of the movies.
On Rotten Tomatoes right now, Winnie the Pooh Blood Honey 2 has a 53%. It jumped from a 3% to a 53%.
That's great. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. Yeah. That's our episode on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. We are going to be covering bad movies on this channel. On this show. Yep. That's just kind of the thing. You got to have some bad. You have to have some bad horror movies thrown in to appreciate the great ones. But and also with the TCU coming, we're definitely gonna be following that on the show as the movies come out.
We are. So originally we were planning on doing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 1 and this week, and then next week do the sequel. But we cannot find the sequel anywhere. We cannot buy it anywhere. I don't know what the distribution is for that.
They haven't even announced a streaming date yet, which is weird.
So we're not gonna do it next week. We may get it back to it when that one comes out and we can actually watch it.
For next week, we will be doing the French horror movie Infested, 2024 release. I'm excited to talk about that one. So make sure you watch it. Get ready for the episode and see us next week. But John, you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, man?
Yeah, if you want more of this, Why We Love Horror. You can go to Why We Love Horror. We got Versus, we got Why We Love Horror Trivia, and Horror Headlines. We're broadcasting live. Versus is Monday. Horror Headlines, Why We Love Horror is Thursday. Why We Love Horror is live here on Hunter's channel. It is live on my TikTok, which is WWL Horror. It's live on the Facebook page and on X, so you'll find it across the way. And every Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia, the only real horror league that exists in the world. Watch it there.
Hell yeah! And you want to plug anything, Hunter, before we head out?
Right here at Welcome to Primetime. I also have a letterbox, which is NEN98, and also we have myself, Chad, and Carrie. We have a group one that's called it's WTP 1998, where we're doing all of our movies that we talked about on the podcast, and we're doing it as a letterbox review.
Oh yeah! All right, guys, and you can find me on Twitter at AlecMo0423. And then I have a letterboxd. I post on Twitter for that, so find me there. But yeah, man, check back next week for the episode of covering Infested, and we will see you guys next week. So peace out. Stay scared.
Stay scared.